I just need to say, when as Asian Chinese guys, saying thank you is not is a practice. So culturally, we're really not taught that.
And to receive it. Lion.
We picked up this tea from Sophie's, and it's Da Hong Pao, which is scarlet robe. And I have these glass vessels here for the tea, and what it says on here is better together. Dang.
Kelsey and Mitchell, June 4th, 2022. But we won't look at that. Here's to Kelsey and Mitchell.
Kelsey and Mitchell, I don't know you, but here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you for the vessel and your nuptials.
Wow, that tea is rich.
This has got a smooth quality to it. It's very fragrant.
I caught that quality.
Yeah. Ed and I met in like 2001 or 2 or 3, something like that. And we worked together in San Francisco for a long time. We started TCM school at the same time, same quarter. He finished, I did not. And we watched each other kind of struggle in our life, professionally, personally, interpersonally. Everything was kind of showing up. And we still, 22, 23 years later, we're still, in each other's lives in a really beautiful way, and we've been enriching for each other. I'll just say one of the things I love about you, Ed, is your presence, your willingness and your presence. And those are the things like that I have learned, particularly over these last 4 years or so, that I'm always engaged in the other person's life if there's a willingness, and we can see each other in the processing and be available for each other and hold our emotions in check and listen and learn from each other. And I can speak to me learning from you this week especially, that it makes the life simpler as we move forward. It just makes life easier, and even those things that were once a great struggle become much smaller and easier to manage, and you just kind of move on. And I think that's been my practice right at the forefront, these last 4 years. So there's so many things I want to talk about, but I just want to, give it over to you.
Well, thank you for your kind words, and the things I love about you, Terry. I mean, just your capacity to love, your passion, your fierce passion to fight for what's right, your courage, and it motivates the rest of us. I mean, you're like a natural leader. I mean, your wisdom and your intelligence and your ability to look at things in different ways. I always turn to you for just your thoughts about things I struggle with, and you've held space for me and many of our mutual friends, and just feel really safe, and I feel really hopeful when you do that. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
To be in each other's lives and to witness everything we've gone through and hold space for each other. And it's an honor, it's a privilege. It's great to just do the simple things like share tea and play music together.
Yes.
I don't do that too much with other people, play music, and just the synthesis of it it's beautiful. You motivate me to play more music, to seek out more knowledge, and I appreciate that. So thank you. Thanks, brother.
I'm going to say thank you. I just need to say, as Asian Chinese guys, saying thank you is a practice. So culturally, we're really not taught that.
and to receive it.
And even more importantly, absolutely, yes. I mean, I think that's the hardest thing, is to actually receive it as a gift and not have to kind of like push it away or make nice or like downplay it, because it's, in our culture, to shine the light on us, you know, is not the way that we were raised. And so if anyone gives you a gift, you kind of have to kind of like, yeah, that's okay, it's okay. But we're working together on learning how to receive and to give, and it's a powerful thing because it opens up your heart. And we break out of a stereotype, and we break out of our own cultural learnings that don't serve us anymore today. And we can respect it at the same time. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
You said it,
Shaking.
yeah. What's the problem with that? Well, it's so deeply enculturated in our genetic structure. You feel like really like you're in kindergarten when you say thank you. It just doesn't feel like mechanically or any other way right. But the more that I've been practicing it, the easier it gets, and the more I'm actually able to receive Ed as well. It just gets easier, and eventually, unconsciously, it'll just be written.
Yeah.
So that's where I work. That's what I would love to be working toward always.
Yeah. And then again, it's just along with that, with the cultural nuances, it's nice to have someone that automatically gets it, you know, in terms of just cultural experiences and family dynamics, and just to, I mean, we love our partners, but it's just sometimes if they're coming from a different history and even a different culture and race, it's different, you know. And so it's been nice to just, when something happens and we just look at each other and we know right away, like just the humor in it and the ironies of cultural differences and the injustices, and it's good to just have someone who gets it, you know. I mean, I have a lot, and we're both lucky to have a pretty loving tribe, but just that little nuance is
it's just beautiful. And there's not really any words that you have to give to it. It's just a felt sense, and that sense of belonging is intergenerational. It just goes back.
Yeah.
And even though we don't come from the same land, you know, necessarily, but we come from the same culture. He being Taiwanese and me coming from southern China, so that's where my roots are. Which, you know, mainland Chinese think Taiwan is, you know, a small island. But see, the Taiwanese believe that they're the first Chinese. So I don't know, there's a big battle. But he and I don't have that issue, right?
No.
So
Same
we're just
thing.
receiving and giving.
Yeah, receiving and giving.
Mm.
Yeah. Which lends itself to our professional practice, you know. I mean, we're giving a lot as healthcare providers. Give, you know, and then where's the receiving? I mean, we talk to our colleagues about that. And I guess it's sometimes, you know, caregivers are usually the last ones to receive and take care of themselves, myself included, you know. And so it is an interesting, not just cultural, but professional dilemma, I guess, to look at and to ponder about. And like you said, I've worked with you for so many years. You hired me, you know, and you see me grow as a therapist, and I've kind of followed how you practice, and it's really shaped how I practice. And then just both our paths with Eastern medicine and philosophies, and yeah, even though you didn't finish, you're still way in it, you know. And so but it is interesting to kind of look at as we grow as practitioners. And as a new grad, you know, we had our rubric we had to follow that we learned in academia, and, you know, it's, I need to do this and this and this and this, and it's my agenda, and you're following me. And naturally, as we evolved and had more experience and grew some humility. We just, I mean, really, I'm like, well, how can we help you? What's on the table or in the chair? Like, what are your goals? And sometimes they're not used to that question, right? And so, both in the professional setting and maybe even in a personal setting, right?
Yes,
and so,
absolutely.
and I'm sure our personal lives have shaped the way we practice, and vice versa, yeah. So it's just it is interesting, and as I was finishing my thought about every time a client or patient comes in, I'm honored for one, just to have someone seek out my help or guidance, and I'm in this frame of mind now, like, well, I'm just here to guide you and maybe share with you my thoughts and my experiences. And now it's like, well, it doesn't mean I'm right, you know. And it's like there's so many other ideas, and oftentimes they'll come to the table with their ideas, and I'm definitely, let's go with that. That's important to you, and that we should tailor it towards that, to heal physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And it's been an interesting journey of like giving and receiving, and I'm always learning from the people I work with. You know, I have all these, certificates and plaques on the wall, but whatever, really. It's just like
whatever.
I mean, it's just like
It's
I mean, at first I'm like, is this an ego thing, a vanity thing to put that up? And we have laws and rules that you need to place that in a conspicuous place so that I can spread my ego even more. But it's interesting, and people will say, "Oh, wow, you have so many certificates." I mean, there is, I guess, a sense of pride of like, yeah, I'm really proud of what I did, and again, that's an Asian thing. I don't normally boast about my accomplishments. That's hard for me. Maybe just me, and I just growing up, my family's like taught to be humble, and the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one, just like they said in Star Trek.
It's the Borg.
It's the Borg, right? And so, and also with Spock, as he was dying in the radiation chamber, right? So yes, but it's just to get back on track with the thank you and receiving and giving. I don't know. It's an interesting thing you brought up, and as I think out loud. I'm learning it still. So.
Well, there was so much in there. I mean, there really was. And I went like, pin that. Like, I have a question for you. So let me just kind of respond back to you.
Please.
So let me go back to my most vivid moment. So when you were talking about ego and vanity, and I was thinking Bruce Lee.